Okay, good morning, everybody. Thanks for coming, and I appreciate that because I think in the end, this is going to require help from the community to hopefully resolve this case. By way of introduction, my name is Neil Harkins. I'm the Chief of Police. I'm sitting with Lieutenant Bob Baldwin, who's our patrol commander, and Lieutenant Wayne Wagner, head of our investigations unit. A couple of purposes today to do this. Number one, community awareness. Obviously, we want the community to be aware that this happened, and we're asking, of course, or appealing to the community to help us out with this case. We think that it's important that we identify this individual as quickly as possible and remove her from the community. So our hope today is to get the information out that we currently have as of now, and maybe people respond to that information and give us an idea on who this individual may be. I can ask a couple things I have to ask you. Number one is it's important that we be cognizant, all of us be cognizant of the age of this victim, which is 5 years old, and of course the privacy of the victim and the family. Because of the age of the victim, we have to be very patient on extracting information from her. So that's going to take some time. So I can tell you now that at this point, we have some information. We're going to get it out to you today. This is an extremely fluid investigation. Information could change as we move forward, but again, we thought it was important to get this out today, and I know that you guys have a lot of questions that you need to have answered too. So I'm going to begin with the timeline that we currently have so that everybody's clear on this. 16:20, which is 4:20 p.m. yesterday, July 11th, received a call of an abduction in the 100 block of Jennings Drive here in Lancaster Township. The victim's a 5-year-old female. She was missing from outside her home. We know at that point she was outside playing. She was last seen walking towards a wooded area at the rear of her house. Information concerning this was provided to us by her mother, who was also there at the home. An intensive search began. Numerous agencies were involved, including, and this is an interesting point, a number of people from the neighborhood helped us search. Search went on until 1848, 6:48 p.m., July 11th. We were notified by the Lancaster Township Fire Company members that they had found the victim in the 1700 block of Betts Farm Drive, also here in Lancaster Township. Our investigation at that point determined that there were 2 teenage witnesses. There were also residents who were aware of the abduction. They were on their bikes and actually riding around the neighborhood looking for the young girl. They saw a vehicle and a young girl in the vehicle who they thought might be the girl. They began to follow that vehicle around the neighborhood, a number of streets, until the vehicle stopped on Betts Farm Drive and the girl exited the vehicle. The vehicle immediately left. The 2 young men went up and assisted the young girl until the arrival of the fire company, at which point we learned that, in fact, it was her. When she was located, she was calm. She asked for her mother. Her mother came to help her, and she was immediately sent to Lancaster General Hospital for treatment and further evaluation. The information that we have right now, this is the stuff that we wanted to get out today and we think most important, and this is gleaned from the 2 young boys that saw the car and also a little bit of information from the victim. Some of it is vague in nature, but we think that it's important enough to get out. The vehicle is a red, purplish, or maroon, possibly a Chevy product with round taillights. The suspect in the vehicle, who is our abductor, is a male we believe to be white. Again, that's fluid, but at this point we believe to be white, 50 to 70 years old. He's wearing very distinctive clothing. And again, we think that the members of the public, people that live in our neighborhoods, are probably going to be aware of this individual, and putting this clothing out is important. Green shoes, green pants with a red and white striped shirt. He possibly has a disability and may walk with a limp. One other item that we're adding to this today that we're currently working on now, and again, as we speak, there are numerous people out in the field trying to run all these leads down. We believe that after he picked up the victim, he took the victim to buy her ice cream. We know that it was an outdoor ice cream store, that the victim stayed in the car, that the abductor left the car and ordered the ice cream at what she describes as a takeout window near the sidewalk. The next step we have after that is her being found on Betts Farm Drive. So at present, that's the information we have. I know that you'll have some questions. Again, I ask you to be cognizant of the fact the victim's only 5 years old and it's going to require patience to work through it. I assure you that as we get more information, We're going to make it available publicly because we think it's important that the public be aware that this happened and that they have to be aware of where their children are until we remove this subject from the community. So with that, I'll take any questions. Yes, sir.
Are there any video cameras? I know you guys were looking into possibly finding some, maybe some residents had them out.
We are doing a door-to-door canvass of all the homes and businesses, and we're going to review the cameras also within the City Safety Coalition.
How did he get the girl in the car? Did he stop the car, open the door? What happened that she...
We're not sure on that part yet. We don't know how she got in at this point. That's not clear to us, and I don't want to say at this point, but it's not clear to us.
You don't know if he grabbed her or if she went in willingly?
We don't know at this point.
Okay.
How did the teen boys notify the fire company that they were...
They walked up the street with the little girl until they saw firemen and notified the firemen. That's what I have, correct? Yes.
What did he say or do during that? They were gone for a couple hours. Other than the ice cream, is there anything else you know about what he said to her? Did he touch her? Did he harm her in any way?
They are the issues that are going to require patience on our part and everyone else's until we determine what happened. It's not clear. She got tired last night, obviously. And that information, as of now, we're not sure, so for us to say that at this point would be speculation. I will tell you this, that there are indications of assault. So other than that, that's all I can tell you. I'm not sure what type of assault it will be, but there are indications that an assault did occur. Now, she was medically examined. Stuff will be sent, evidence will be sent to a lab, and it's going to take us a little bit of time, again, to put that together and additionally interview her again.
When you hear that a young girl may have been taken from her front lawn, you know, is this at all the outcome that you could expect? I'm sure you couldn't be this optimistic, you know, going into something like that. So explain the emotion of...
Well, I think any time a child's taken, any crime with a child is an emotional crime for any adult, whether you're a police officer or a member of the public, which is one of the reasons I think that everybody got involved in this last night that lived in the neighborhood. This is very important. It's extremely dangerous. It's something that we are probably more concerned about than a lot of other things that go on, and that's why we're going to put as much effort into this as we can to try to find the individual that committed the crime.
What would you say about those two teenagers who helped out?
Wonderful thing, 13 and 14 years old. You know, for them to get involved took courage, and we appreciate the fact, and there's certainly something I think that they should be commended for.
Can you give us their IDs?
Not at this point.
The fact that he sort of seemed to stay right in the immediate area, you know, that seemed a little out of the norm when you think about child abductors. What does that tell you?
We're not sure about that yet. That would be us speculating on what it tells us, and we don't really want to say. Obviously, we see the concern. The guy was in the area, and he brought her back to the area. Does that mean he's a local person? We don't know. That's something that we're currently looking at, and we're hoping to get more information on, of course.
Have you been able to locate that ice cream shop?
They're trying to do that now as we speak, trying to find the ice cream store. And again, one of the reasons we're doing this today is that we're hoping that somebody in one of those ice cream stores noticed the car, noticed the girl sitting in the car, maybe even noticed the guy walking up to the ice cream stand. Our theory, and this is speculation, our theory is that that ice cream stand probably is not far from where the incident took place or where she was taken from or dropped off.
Other than that, though, you don't know what else happened in the 2 hours. Did he take her to a house? Did he take her inside anywhere? Or was it in the car the whole time?
Still don't know.
Where on Betts Farm did she get out of the car? Now, you said it was in a 1700 block, but all of Betts Farm is a 1700 block. Was it closer to St. Philip's or Deep Hollow? Or
I know
down
the house
towards
number. Do you know it was
Graythorne?
closer to St. Philip's?
I don't recall.
I can tell you it was in the area 1706.
1706. So that's
Yes.
pretty close to St. Philip's. then.
Yeah, it's pretty close to St. Philip's.
Can you just pronounce the last name of the victim, so we all have it correct?
I can't.
Oh, you can't?
No.
Okay.
I have to, we're required to protect the identity of a young child.
Okay,
Now,
I
I know
think most of us
that
had
in
it.
some cases, the media has already released her name, her age, and even her photo, which is fine, but I can't do that
Sure, okay.
at this point. You guys already have that.
And I'm guessing, are you going back through, you know, kind of the past few months? Have there been other reports of suspicious cars or people? Have you found anything that may be connected to this?
Not, are you aware of anything like that?
No, I mean, we almost daily get reports of suspicious vehicles, suspicious activity, but nothing along these lines, even though there are previous reports.
Did the 2 teenage boys say anything to the man in the car to make him stop? What was the interaction between them and him? I mean, they're kids on bicycles. That a man would. Do you
I don't
know?
think there was any interaction. I think what they saw the car and they began to follow the car on the bikes. You know, if he saw them or not, that would be a matter of speculation. He continued to drive, they followed him, he eventually stopped, let the girl out of the car,
That's, okay, that's all you know.
and he left. They drove up on the bikes and helped the girl.
Do you have anybody on Megan's list that fits that description that you're checking?
We are actively going after the Megan's list now as we speak. In terms of fitting the description, vehicles and stuff, that's still stuff we're working on.
The clothes seem pretty distinctive. Do you feel, you seem pretty certain that someone in the area knows this individual. Can you say why?
Simply what I was saying earlier, we believe that he picked her up in the neighborhood, he dropped her off in the neighborhood, and it's very possible that he's somewhere in the immediate vicinity, within 5 to 10 miles of that vicinity. So it's our feeling that with that kind of distinctive clothing, possibly somebody knows the clothing, the man, or the vehicle. And we're hoping to get some help and at least point us in the right direction.
What advice would you have for parents who live in these neighborhoods? Should they not let their children outside? Should they not be, what should they do?
Well, that's a difficult thing to answer. I can tell you this, that it's important that they be aware that this happened and that they monitor their children probably a little more closely than they normally do until this person is taken into custody. But the most important thing is awareness. They have to make a decision as to whether they want to let them out or keep them in the house. But if they're going to let them out, they need to watch until this is over. All right, thanks for coming. I will update everybody as we get more information, and I'm hopeful that won't be too long, so we'll see what happens.